This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
All right, good morning, St. Louis. We are kicking things off with a live look at the United Auto Workers picket line outside the General Motors plant in Wentzville. As of today, they've been on strike for 1 month. We'll take a closer look in just a few minutes. But first, good morning to you. It's Sunday, October 15th. I'm Travis Cummings.
And I'm Mercedes McKay. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. We had an exciting night last night with the Blues winning the home opener. So we're hopeful that that continues. We'll hear from fans in a little bit. But again, we're honored today to be joined by Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell. Scott, what's the weather going to look like? Is it a good Sunday for a nap again?
You know, it's not going to be quite as cloudy as it was yesterday. Yesterday, we had clouds all day long, very little in the way of sunshine. Today, we've had some showers around early on, but we also see some breaks in the clouds, and that's going to be the case as we go through the day. So still sort of okay napping weather this afternoon, but maybe enough sunshine where you can be inspired a little more than what we saw yesterday to get some things done. It was hard yesterday afternoon, right? So we're looking out in St. Louis right now. We have temperatures across the area that are in the low 50s, pretty much right around 50 degrees, give or take a couple of degrees, 52 at Lambert. You still have that north wind. And yes, we're still tracking a few showers. Most of them are pretty light and pretty scattered here. You've had a little bit of rain off to the east and south of St. Louis, even a couple of those sprinkles going through Brentwood and Maplewood in the last hour or so. And then farther south, it's been a little more widespread in terms of those showers. That's because an upper level disturbance is slipping through the region at this point. So today, our chances there certainly that we could see a spot shower or two really right through the afternoon hours, but that chance decreases as we head into the evening, and there'll be at least some sunshine at times today, but still chilly and still breezy, highs in the 50s.
Overnight, the U.S. Embassy in Israel announced the government will evacuate Americans from Israel by sea. U.S. nationals and their immediate family members will depart Haifa, Israel tomorrow and sail for about 11 hours to Cyprus. Now, we also learned within the last 2 hours that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will return to Israel tomorrow as well. Now, that evacuation route is only for Americans in Israel. Right now, some Americans are among those trapped in the Gaza Strip, waiting to cross the border into Egypt. Now, it's unclear if the border is open or not. Some officials claim it's open, but there's no proof anyone has crossed through. Now, here's a map to give you a better sense of the current situation. Now, the Israeli Defense Forces told Palestinians and the United Nations to evacuate this red area at the top, which is in northern Gaza, which is right around Gaza City. Now, they had to flee south toward Egypt because all border crossings into Israel are closed. But the south hasn't really been much safer. Yesterday, the Israelis bombed Khan Yunis, which is the biggest city in southern Gaza, and Hamas has launched some of their attacks from there. But it appears if and when the IDF launches a ground assault, it will come from the northern evacuated area.
We don't know if they're alive or dead, healthy or wounded, but we do know for certain that they have been taken to the Gaza Strip by the Hamas.
Well, overnight, a group of 12 families called Families of American Israeli Hostages in Gaza have urged President Biden to do everything in his power to bring their loved ones home. In a statement, they said, quote, with U.S. citizens held hostage by Hamas in Gaza, America has a responsibility to do all it can to secure their release. We urge Biden to use all means and resources at his disposal before it is too late, end quote. Now, right now, the U.S. government can't confirm how many of the 17 missing Americans are hostages. 29 Americans have been killed in the fighting.
Today, the Missouri chapter of the American Muslims for Palestine and the Coalition for Justice in Palestine will address the crisis in the Gaza Strip and West Bank. They will call for a ceasefire and distribution of supplies to Gaza residents. A SLU grad from Gaza will also speak. Now, it's happening this morning at 9 at Dar al-Jalal Mosque on Dunn Road in Hazelwood. Then also this afternoon at 4, those same groups we just mentioned will gather in Keener Plaza downtown to show solidarity with Gaza. That protest starts at 4.
Well, since the conflict began over 1 week ago, local groups have been speaking out against that fighting. The National Campaign for Human Dignity met outside the Robert A. Young Federal Building yesterday afternoon, making passionate pleas for the violence to end. The group says they oppose violence on both sides of the conflict. They are calling on U.S. leaders to reintroduce peace talks between Israelis and Palestinians.
We are witnessing to Today, at this moment, in this time in history, we are witnessing a tragic but truly avoidable humanitarian crisis.
They also want the U.S. to supply food, water, medicine, and other needs to civilians in Gaza. Now, for a link to our stories on the Israel-Hamas war, text the word Israel to 314-425-5355.
Your time right now is 9:05, and we're taking a live look at the United Auto Workers picket line, which is outside the General Motors plant over in Wentzville. Today marks 1 month since they went on strike in the first wave against what they're calling the Big Three, which is GM, Stellantis, and Ford. Since then, 3 more plants have gone on strike, and despite the hopes of the automakers, more could walk off the job soon.
We are prepared at any time to call on more locals to stand up and walk out. As always, I want to first take time to honor our UAW family that's currently on strike.
I don't feel that it's even necessary to have a strike. We would prefer that they come back to work as soon as possible.
Now, the ripple effects of the strike are already being felt in our region. Just 2 weeks into the strike, U.S. Steel had to temporarily idle one of the blast furnaces at Granite City Works and consider layoffs. Tune in to 5 on Your Side at 5 to hear from our local UAW.